I just had the color match stitching. They look great, but I just think this looks a lot better.
It does. The seats are better than the R8 by a lot, actually.
But the R8, does it pop and crackle like?
Only, I noticed it on a downshift under a bridge, and it doesn't pop, but it just snaps. It's like a quick snap.
That's my favorite part about this car, and the only reason why I kind of want an exhaust is just to get more, you know, pops. Like, you know, we're not even getting on it. You know. Just, especially with the windows down. Just love it.
God, that's good.
Get more warmed up here. I don't know, I just love everything about it. Like,
I was gonna ask you, between the two, the old Gallardo and this.
it's so night and day. It's not even
Oh, yeah.
funny. So like, I guess, you know, back to, so like we're in first. I just let off the brake and we're rolling. Like it's engaged. You know, like you just, as soon as you floor it, like you're rocking forward. And you have to drive a Gallardo to know, like when you floor it in a Gallardo, like it does not just, there's lag there, like a lot, because first gear is like the hardest. After first gear, it's smoother, but like to launch off the line, that's why they made this car and solve that problem.
Yeah. How hard is it to go to the grocery store in this?
I mean, I guess, you know, I mean, the front, if you will, I mean, it's pretty spacious, but I don't know, I mean, I guess I always go in my truck, you know,
Yeah.
or my wife's car. But, I mean, for little things, like, it's not bad. Especially if you're going by yourself, between that seat and the front, you can pretty much take anything you want.
It's a lot smoother than I was expecting.
Yeah. And so this is in Sport. In Strada, it's, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's a difference. I wouldn't say I can, like, tell. I don't know. I mean, like, we can put it in Strada real quick. Like, it gets quieter, a lot quieter. And you don't get as many, you don't, like, the downshifts, like, you don't get the cracks in Strada. Going to be complaints, and my only complaints about this car is such minute details that really don't matter. Like, it's silly, but I guess everyone's different. So to me, I always leave the air on, like, all the way low, right? I just kind of adjust the strength of the fans, but before, like, it'll tap back to this, and then before you adjust you have to press this to adjust the fans. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It should be like, I almost think it should be the other way around. If you want to adjust the temperature, you press this.
Yeah.
And the other thing, that every time you start it, it automatically reverts to automatic mode.
I noticed something. So I was reading about these, and they kind of went with like hexagonal shapes everywhere.
Yeah.
I noticed the mirror wasn't.
No, that is true. They could have done that.
Yeah.
But there's not really any good roads out this way. It's just pretty damn straight. But I'd love to show you how it does around turns.
You're good over here.
That's some hombres with me. But if you're not opposed to it, I'll get on it a little bit.
Nah, you're good.
cut that cookie. Like, it was a really loud car, you know. The first time I moved to this house in December, and the neighbor across the street, because like, you know, like when it's not cold starting, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Like when I pulled in to the garage, no one really noticed because I was just coasting, you know. But the first time I started it, the neighbor across the street came out of her house. Like she was like, "What is that?" Like she was concerned, like something was going on. Like she actually came out of her house and was like, "Is your car blowing up?" Like what is, you know, like it was pretty funny.
Now, did you have the yellow one straight piped?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of a funny story. Whenever it happened, so I got it, and this sounds pretty good stock. Like Yardo sounds terrible stock. It's really quiet, and I didn't like that, and because I'm used to like the Corvettes, like manly sounding, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just Googled. I was like, "What's the loudest Lamborghini exhaust?" And it was pretty unanimous that like Fab Speed makes the loudest exhaust. So I called Fab Speed, and I'm like, "Hey, I want my car to be really loud, and if it shot flames, that'd be a bonus." And they're like, "Oh yeah, awesome, yeah, definitely, we can do that. You need the cat delete and the muffler delete." And I was like, "Yeah, send that." And they sent it, and we had it installed. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I mean, I like it, but you know, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I didn't realize it was going to be the world's loudest car.
No kidding.
I mean, because, you know, at that point, I mean, Alex had the Lambo in Tulsa, but I don't know if he had an exhaust on it, or I didn't really hear, you know, I don't have a lot of friends with Lambos, so like I didn't really know like what they sounded like. So I never heard a straight piped one, but I just thought that's what I should do, you know?
Yeah, of course. How bad can it be?
But I guess that's where I was getting at. Is like I'm a little hesitant to put an exhaust on this because I kind of like being able to talk and stuff in here.
Yeah.
Like it not being so crazy. Like if I want to, I can put it in Strata, and I think it still sounds good, especially outside the car. Like when I drive by you, it's pretty audible. It's just like, because even the other one, as loud as the other one was, you could still have a conversation here. Don't get me wrong. Like at certain RPMs, no. Like at right at 4,000 RPMs, it was just like the heavens were like, oh, you know? So like at 4,000 RPMs in the old one, you weren't hearing anything, you know. But I mean, it stays flat through the turns. Like I don't know, it's just so hard to put in words how great this car handles.
I've never seen a transmission shift so fast in my life. That's nuts. Usually whenever we come up here, we go to, what is it called? It used to be called Bill Eddie's, the motorcycle shop.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
Freedom, yeah. sucks that the camera's not going to be able to pick up on how fast that really is.
Like you don't really notice how fast things are until other things like around you. Like you don't realize how fast this car is until we leave a stoplight and you look in your rear view mirror and like everything is really far backwards.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And how fast it can go around corners. Like, street cars shouldn't be able to do that. There's something wrong with that.
I can't wait to take this to Hallett, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good damn time. But you want to take her back home?
Sure, I'm down. As long as you're okay with that. I'll hand you that. Thank you.
So, I guess to
I'm only asking because I'm curious. I'm not going to do it. Have you put it in Corsa yet?
yeah, I've launched. We should have done that. So Corsa, the downside to Corsa is, let's see. So, did you put on the brake?
Yeah.
Okay, so press down on this. There's two different parkings. This is like parking with your transmission, and this is like parking with the
brake
pad. So the downside to Corsa is it doesn't shift for you if you need it to. So like in sport mode, if you floor it and you're in the heat of racing somebody and it gets to red line, it gets to 85, it just shifts for you. It doesn't bounce off the rev limiter. In Corsa, it'll bounce off the rev limiter.
Okay.
I think it's a big disadvantage, you know what I mean? Because honestly, like when you're street racing somebody, it is, I mean, like sport mode basically makes the most use out of it. Like you can take it all the way to red line. You don't even have to shift because it'll do it for you.
It's hard to concentrate on everything and then over revving your $200,000 car.
So sport mode, I think, is the best bang for your buck. Now to launch, you have to be in Corsa. But then what's ironic about that, if you launched, Corsa will now shift for you because you launched.
Really?
Because it starts at 4,000 RPMs and it's like when you're banging out first before you even know it. So like it knows that like, he's probably not going to pay attention to this one. So like you can still shift if you want to, but if you don't, if you launched, Corsa will then shift for you, but it won't any other time.
Will it do all the gears?
It will do all the gears.
That's weird, because on like a Veyron, I was reading about, it'll do the first three, because they're so fast your brain almost can't comprehend it.
Okay, you know what? I mean, I say that. I've only done that when I was at the drag strip. I launched Corsa, and by the time, you're only in what gear at the end of the drag strip? Third, fourth,
Probably.
tops? So I guess I've never taken it from 0 to 7th gear in Corsa, so I guess I don't actually know that. But I know on the drag strip I didn't bounce off any rev limiters, and I wasn't shifting. I was just focused on, I was just like, I'm gonna let Corsa do its thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as, you just, when you're ready to put in first, you just click that, now you're in first, and,
I like the paddles.
Yeah,
the R8s are about that big.
So that's how it was on the Gallardo. The Gallardo was really small.
It makes no
and
sense.
People complained about it a lot.
Oh, there's a deer.
We want to avoid those.
No kidding. I'm sure they can jump over.
That's a bad deal. I'll jump out this car and tackle them.
Hey, please do.
A deer kind of coming back. I'd go easy till we're past them. These people are like, deer and a Lambo all in one day. Seatbelt action.
I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, no. What the hell is that? That's the biggest damn bird I've ever seen in my life.
Good God.
It's like a turkey vulture. Didn't know we were going on a wildlife safari. So I guess you got it. You just shift. And then, except when you do come to a stop, you can downshift if you want to. You can just come to a stop. It doesn't matter. It still does, like the Gallardo, if you click both, it takes you to neutral, but there's no reason. In the Gallardo, whenever you did that, it really helped your clutch life by not downshifting through the gears. Like in the Gallardo, to get the most clutch out of your car, when you're coming up to a stop, just neutral it and brake to a stop, because brakes are a lot cheaper than a clutch,
Oh, yeah.
But in this car, I mean, the only time you want to click it both to neutral is just to rev it, I guess,
Yeah.
But
Just shifts so
yeah,
good.
when you're not like aggressive on the pedal, it shifts seamlessly. But even when you're aggressive on the pedal, it still shifts pretty seamlessly.
You really don't even have to touch this almost. Like, just the... Jesus.
So So something else to keep in mind, if you hold the downshift down, it'll put you in the lowest gear possible.
The block shift?
What's it called?
Block shift, like it'll go down a few gears.
It'll go to the lowest gear possible for your speed. It is a little rough, I would say, when you do that. Like when you do that, like you feel it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's because you're going from, you know, you can go from 7th down to, because these gears are so like, I don't even know how to explain them. Like you can do 30 miles an hour in 7th gear and it's not like you're dying, you know what I mean? Like
really?
The gears are just so wide. That's weird, hard to explain.
There's really no visibility out the back.
Not a lot.
That's impressive.
But I don't know if you noticed, I have the windshield's tinted, but I feel like I can see well out of it. It's 30, but it's almost like you just have a nice pair of sunglasses on.
The sight line right here, the A-pillar, is really, really far out. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. And I think the mirrors, I think, are bigger than normal mirrors, but for what you can't see out the back with these sides, and you can see quite a bit.
This was a mistake to come up here. It was a massive mistake.
Yeah, test driving cars is always a mistake or a blessing, depends how you look at it.
Yeah. Well, see, we drove a 14 GT3, which I've always wanted. That's like my favorite 911 ever are the GT3s. And
what year was it? 14?
14. And I went ahead and put my name on a 2019 allocation. I didn't put any money down or anything on it. But I started looking at it because my build was 180 grand for the GT3. And I figure by this time next year, which is when I'm looking to actually buy, these might have come down towards that area a little bit more.
Yeah.
At least the rear wheel drives have.
Yeah, rear wheel drive probably. And, you know, again, not that I think the rear wheel drive is a bad car, I feel like, I don't know, I think the all wheel drive is what the car's meant to be, you know?
But you can drift it, bro.
That is true. You can't do donuts in this. And doing donuts in Lambo would be a good time.
Exactly.
We're hooking it right. Preferably not under him.
Oh, God, no. How many miles did you have when you bought this?
4,300.
Jeez.
I put a lot on it.
No kidding.
But I did, so I drove it home from St. Louis, and then I did the rally.
Yeah.
And then I've been driving a lot because it's awesome.
Oh, I don't blame you.
But yeah, I've done, so 7 now, minus 43, so I've put, what is that, 2,700 miles? Let's see, I bought it at the end of May.
So we're in August?
We're like the beginning of August, so basically just a month and a week.
That's impressive.
It is, that's a lot. I never come this way, because that way is like where I was going.
That's where everything is.
Yeah. Oh, the turn signals we have back here.
Such an odd location. But I like it.
You get used to it.
It's almost natural.
Yeah. You definitely get used to it. The only thing I wish that was on the steering wheel, if somehow they could incorporate it, would be the volume. I wish that maybe back here, if there was like a knob for volume, I feel like that would make the old Dodges. Did you ever have a Dodge truck? The old Dodge trucks, the volume was on the back here. I thought it was pretty genius.
On her Malibu, you've got volume as well on the back. She likes to play with it like it's a paddle shifter. I didn't think I'd like red interior because I'm not a big red interior fan, but it looks amazing in person. Now, I know that was kind of a different video than what I've shot before. I didn't shoot any B-roll or anything like that, mainly because I didn't want to take up too much of Mr. Jonathan's time. So, a couple things that I needed to add at the very end of that. So, I made a list of some of the things that I liked and disliked about the car. What I liked was obviously the way the thing looks. I mean, it looks so good. It looks like a Lamborghini. It's that nostalgic thing that most of us probably had on the wall of our bedrooms when we were children, was a Lambo. I know mine was a bright green first generation Murcielago. Some of the other things, the exhaust was phenomenal. That exhaust was incredible. I believe it was the sport exhaust system. The way the thing just sounds under load oh, it's good. And the way it pops after you let off the gas at any time. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. What else did I like? I really liked the materials on the inside. The interior was fantastic. I really, really liked the lack of a screen in the middle that was used for infotainment. It was a little small screen with 3 gauges, and it changes whenever you're doing the volume as well as the air conditioning and that sort of stuff. I really liked the fact that they didn't have a screen there, because it's really distracting if there's a screen in the middle of your car. I know whenever I'm driving the Porsche or on the old Shelby, some of the other vehicles, it's really, really annoying. It's always in your face and you're always looking at it, and I really don't like that. I really also liked the transmission in it. I thought it was the best transmission I've ever used. The paddles that it's got are very, very big. They're about the size of my hand. They're metal, and whenever you touch them, they're cold, and I really like that, because a lot of the paddle shifters that I've used before are like just cheap plastic or really small, and I hate both of those. But the transmission was so fast. It was incredibly quick. Faster than I could have even imagined it being. It fits the car perfectly. I wouldn't want a stick shift in it. It's too fast, and that was another thing. The power that it has is amazing. It's next level power. I was never expecting a car like that to just go. It's the way it builds power is unlike anything I've ever seen, and I almost feel like it's a little too much, but it's something you can get used to, obviously. So I really like the visibility out of the front. On a normal car, the A-pillars are kind of right here next to you, so whenever you're looking around a corner to see if someone's coming, you have to go like this or like that. With the Huracan, the A-pillars are so far forward that you just have to glance while you're driving it, and I really, really like that. I hate cars that you feel like you're in a tank. Camaros. As far as the bad things go, the visibility out the back is not good, but you kind of expect that. He's got the transparent engine cover on it, and it's still minimal, if that. The 3/4 view is not that great, but what else? This is something that can be taken either good or bad. It grabs a lot of attention. You know, I live in an area where the population is less than 10,000, and you know, nobody's got a Lambo here. Up in Northwest Arkansas, maybe a couple, if a handful of Lamborghinis. I think there's a couple McLarens, maybe. This was probably 10 years ago. There was a Carrera GT up there. There's not a lot of exotic vehicles around here. So it grabs a lot of attention, and because of the lack of exotic sales, there are no dealerships. I think the closest one is St. Louis, Dallas. That's really about it. Those are really my only complaints about the car. Other than that, it was amazing, and I really, really appreciate Mr. Jonathan letting me go for a ride in it, and really appreciate him letting me drive it. He's got an Instagram. It's Stay Classy Fayetteville. It's probably one of the best names I've ever heard. And a company as well, the Gold and Diamond Company. I will link them down below. I really, really suggest you go take a look at it. His Instagram's awesome. It's Lambos, of course. So you can take a look at his old Superleggera that he used to have, as well as his new Huracan. So again, thank you, Mr. Jonathan. I really, really appreciate you letting Adrian and I come take a look at your car. She's giving me the go-ahead on it, so you sold her on it. So thank you for that. Really, thank you. So anyway, I really appreciate y'all watching this video, and take care.